দেরি করছিস কেন রে তোরা? আর তোর সাথে কে দেরি করিস কেন? কি দেরি করিস কেন? যখনই আয় পড়া 5টায়, 5টার মধ্যে ঢোকার চেষ্টা করবি।
স্যার একটা বলছিল কি কেমিস্ট্রি বই?
এক কাজ করতো সায়ন, আমার ঘরে গিয়ে দেখ একটা লাল ইয়ে আছে, তোর কি জানি বলে, আমার যে চার্জারটা লাল লাল এক্সটেনশন কর্ডটা আর কালো এক্সটেনশন কর্ডটা দুটোই নিয়ে, লালের সাথে কালোটা লাগানো থাকবে। দাঁড়া একটা জিনিস ফিক্স করে আসি আমি, নাহলে পরে তখন এটাকে ওখান দিয়ে আমার ফোন থাকবে। আরে what? Okay. হ্যাঁ স্নেহাংশু, হ্যালো হ্যালো হ্যালো। সি good evening Abhirup. Yeah, biology. So the chapter or the thing that we will study today is very interesting also and important also. Now tell me, is this clear? Video clear or not? I hope the video is clear. Okay. Now you see, we will begin with neural control and coordination. Hello Nikita. We'll begin with neural control and coordination.
Last chapter.
Oh, it is reversed. Align the notebook, eh? How can it be reversed?
Oh, wait for that.
Now I understand it's ulta, but how can I fix it? No, oh, now it's okay, sir. Okay, I need to go down with that. Okay, neural control and coordination. And now it is supposed to be okay, no? Please tell me, is it okay or it is upside down? Fast. Sir, again. It must have been. What nonsense. Okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
सीधा हूँ.
Now it's perfect. Okay, now you see. Neural control. See, control and coordination. If you want to understand control and coordination, this was your class 10 ka chapter's name. Control and coordination. If you want to understand what is control, what is coordination, see, there are two types of control and coordination in our body. Okay. Number one is chemical and number two is neural. We will do neural today. First we should do neural. Chemical may you have to write lots of notes. So you have already written lots of notes in the previous chapter. So today let's just understand. Now neural means obviously done by neurons. What are neurons? Neurons are actually cells. In fact, the longest cells of human body. We all know this. These are class 6 ka things. Okay, these are longest cells of the human body, and the neurons form the tissue which we call nerves. Which we call the nerves. Now, these nerves, what are their function? They conduct senses in the form of electrical impulses. They conduct senses in the form of electrical impulses. Are you getting my point? So, these things we know. Now, if I see as the structure of a neuron, I am very good in drawing, you know, class 10 students. This is somewhat very close structure of neuron. Why am I drawing? This is your NCERT neuron ka structure. This is a neuron, right? Now, if you see, notice this neuron. This neuron has a nucleus, obviously. It carries the genetic material inside it. Now here there will be granules of RER, means broken down fragments of rough endoplasmic reticulum, which are known as Nissls granules after the name of the scientist who discovered them. And there are projections, numerous projections outside. This is the cell body. This much is known as the cyton or cell body, or written, sorry, cyton or cell body. From the cell body, there is extension of lot of, dendrites, or these are projections, okay, which come out with a tipped structure, as if they are trying to receive something from anyone, right or wrong, as if these are specific receptors of certain molecules. Okay, their structure only indicates that, because pinpointed structure, কাউকে খোঁচা দেওয়ার জন্য তার pinpointed structure বানায় না এখানে। আমাদের এভলিউশনের প্রত্যেকটা যে আমরা যে পড়ি, we study about, sorry for using Bengali, for studying biology, when we study biology we learn structure of things, okay, molecular structure or morphology of things. What is the reason of learning morphology? This morphology has not come randomly. This morphology is actually related to the function. Okay, so that is the okay, so that is the cell body, and the dendrites are there. Now from the cell body there will be extension of axon. There will be extension of axon from the cell body. Are you getting my point? There will be what? Extension of axon from the cell body. Now these axon inside, listen, inside the cell body, the fluid that is present will be known as cytoplasm. Inside the axon, the fluid that will be present is known as exoplasm. Okay, inside the axon, what is there is known as exoplasm. Now over the axon as because the nerve impulses or the electrical impulses which carries the electrical impulses which is being carried, as because it is formed, it has to travel, as because it has to travel, and it is formed by charges like potassium and sodium, and negatively charged sodium and potassium, not calcium, sodium and potassium, and not other any charges, but sodium and potassium and negatively charged proteins, as because they create the charges which is present, and the charges flow. The mechanism of flowing we will understand, but it flows through the axon, right? And then it goes up to the extensions known as, this is known as what? In class 10 it was there, no? Axon endings, okay, or axon terminal. Clear? Now, the axon is enveloped by a type of cell known as Schwann cell. Known as what? Schwann cell, again named after the discoverer. From this Schwann cell, there is secretion of a sheath-like fibrous structure known as myelin sheath, because myelin is the compound which is forming it. Okay, name of the compound is myelin, and myelin sheath covers the entire axon. The purpose of presence of myelin sheath is that the charges that are being carried by the axon is being insulated from the outside environment, or the outside environment is insulated from the charges which is present inside the axon. This is the reason of presence of the myelin sheath, and the myelin sheath are always been produced from Schwann cells. Am I being able to make myself clear? Now that is one thing. Now, of course, at the axon endings there are synaptic knobs, and through these synaptic knobs they create synapse. They create what? Synapse with another neuron which you can imagine just drawn upside down of it in this way. Oh no, sorry, just down bottom of it. These dendrites are present in front of the axon endings like this. Are you getting my point? And there is receive of chemical signals from the dendrite to the from the axon endings to the dendrite of another cell. These chemicals are generally acetylcholine kind of chemicals. One example, the principal receptor is acetylcholine. Okay, and the other one receives and the nerve impulse travels in this way. So we understand that the nerve impulse remains electrical inside the axon up to the axon ending, and then from there it travels into the dendrites. Are you getting my point? From there it travels into the dendrites. Is this clear to you? बोल, is this clear or not clear? जितना बताया मैंने क्लियर हुआ? यहाँ पे इंटरनेट वाले भी टेल मी. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and internet for 3. 9 people are doing class. There are 21 students.
21 bio students.
Check the group now. Number of numbers is not equal to number of students. Yes sir, it is very clear. Okay, Obirup Chaudhary says yes sir. Arachnid Tips is also saying yes sir. Shubhradeep is also doing class. 10 students are doing class. Anyway, so I hope that neuron is clear to you. Now, if I talk about neurons, neurons can be classified in various ways. Listen to me. Neurons can be classified in various ways. A number of ways neurons can be classified are: number one is motor neuron, another is sensory neuron. You remember what is motor neuron and sensory neuron? What is? Diya?
Sir, motor neuron receives the impulses and carry that to neurons and.
But
So sensory neuron carries the impulses from the stimuli to the brain, and then motor neuron brings it back.
sure, obviously sensory neurons नामटा ही तो जानना. सेंसरी ऑर्गन से ब्रेन तक जाएगा, हमेशा ब्रेन तक जाता है.
Spinal.
Which goes to the brain and which goes to the spinal cord?
सर जो रिफ्लेक्स टाइप का होता है ना, जो
तेरा सर और मुंह इतना तक ठीक है। तेरा देख देख कैमरे की तरफ।
नहीं सर।
क्यों? तो देखेगी कि नहीं देखेगी?
लज्जा लगता है।
हाँ, अपना गला तक ऐसे हाथ लगा, ऐसे ऐसे। हाँ, यहाँ तक ब्रेन तक कनेक्टेड है डायरेक्टली। उससे नीचे सब स्पाइनल कॉर्ड। ऐसा क्यों? भगवान ने हमें स्पाइनल कॉर्ड में कनेक्ट क्यों कर? भगवान नहीं, बाय एवोल्यूशन।
कम डिस्टेंस।
सर फास्ट होता है सर, ब्रेन में थॉट प्रोसेस होता है।
हाँ, ब्रेन में थॉट प्रोसेस का कभी कभी किसी हम लोगों को रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन में, तो पहले से ही बोल रही थी, जो रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन वाला है वो स्पाइनल कॉर्ड में होता है, और जो थॉट प्रोसेस वाला होता है वो ब्रेन में होता है। फिर भी तुम्हारे आंखों में भी रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन है कि नहीं? वो तो ब्रेन में है ना। एग्जैक्टली, यस, क्लियर। So the sensory neurons which takes the signal from the sensory organs. What are the sensory organs? Hey, class 10 ka question. We need to answer it. Lots of sensory organs are there. Skin, these receptors, you know. So those from those sensory receptors or sensory organs, the neurons which carry the impulse to the brain or the spinal cord is known as sensory neuron. A collection of sensory neuron together like a bundle, okay, is known as sensory nerve. As there are sensory neurons, there are sensory nerves also. We know that cell together. Snehanshu says, "Oh Suraksha," then two LMAO wala emoji. Okay, you want to say him something?
No sir.
Okay. क्या बोला तू? What you say, what you want to say him? Okay, fine. So noob gaming. Who is noob gaming?
Mushroom.
Hey, why are you in biology class? Mashur, go.
হ্যাঁ না, ও তো লিংক আসবে কিভাবে বলছে?
Public করা। Oh, sorry, I forgot. You come at 7.
আসবে না আজকে।
Why?
Yes, okay.
मर गया ना एग्जाम सिलीगुड़ी में।
आज रिस्की हो जाएगा सिलीगुड़ी से आना। Anyway, let's go into our discussion. So, of course, you remember I taught you in class 10 only how nerves form from a neuron. How nerves form from a neuron? Suppose the neuron is like this, right or wrong? Suppose the neuron is like this. These are the axons and these are the dendrites, right or wrong? Then in this way they create a bundle kind of structure with all the neurons. Here are the dendrites, all the dendrites, okay, with the cell body and all the axons are here together, like a bundle of lots of neurons lying parallelly as a bundle. That forms a nerve.
Sensory nerve.
Sensory nerve if sensory neuron is there only. Motor nerve if only motor neuron is there. What is a motor neuron?
Sir, which brings back.
Which brings back the responses from the brain to our sensory or to our muscle or skeletal muscles. Clear?
So एक और था ना?
That will form the motor nerve. एक और था, if there is a mixture, if in any nerve there is a mixture of sensory neuron and motor neuron together present side by side, that is known as a mixed nerve. That is known as a
Mixed nerve.
all over the body. Are you getting my point? Shayanaks kothay thake, it is present all over the body. Hello Shobhik, welcome. Shobhik, do the class because your classes are very costly. You pay me 2400 for 2 subjects, and in 2 subjects we have I think 8 classes, no, in a month. 8 plus 8, 16 classes. So he pays 2400 for not doing at all any classes, or in some month 1 or 2 classes. So his one class costs 1600 rupees. 2400 rupees. So Shobhik, do the class. Okay. And hi there, hi. Anyway, so What was I saying? I forgot.
Nerve. Mixed
Nerve,
nerve.
mixed nerve. So I hope that you have understood the structure of neuron well and good. I hope you have also understood what are the various parts of the neuron. I hope you have understood how a nerve forms. What are the three types of nerves? And what else did I explain? I hope how impulses travel from one.
Acetylcholine and all.
Acetylcholine means how impulses travel from one neuron to the one neuron to another neuron. Yeah. And what are sensory neurons? What are motor neurons? And which why our spinal cord is present? You see, spinal cord. Oh, I was saying, yeah. What was the topic I was discussing is types of neurons, means how can you divide neurons? One is this. Another type you can divide is myelinated and non-myelinated. Sir, non-myelinated neurons are also there. Yes, of course, my non-myelinated is there. There are two types of axons. See, written here. I will quote your NCERT only, as because NCERT I have opened. There are two types of axons, namely myelinated and non-myelinated. The myelinated nerve fibers are enveloped with Schwann cells. That तो I told you. जो myelinated होगा उसमें से तो Schwann cells से ही myelin निकलेगा. These things तो I told you. Oh, one thing I did not tell. Some places are not myelinated. Those are known as nodes of Ranvier. This to you remember, I hope. Those are known as nodes of Ranvier. Now that is one thing. Now about unmyelinated, what they have written, see, I'll just quote your NCERT. See, they have written, unmyelinated nerve fiber is enclosed by a Schwann cell that does not form myelin sheath around the axon and is commonly found is autonomous and somatic neural system. Now what do you mean by autonomous neural system and somatic neural system? This is a question again. You see, autonomous neural system is that neural system, the nerves which are connected to your involuntary or wherever your involuntary actions are going on. Suppose, for example, churning activity of the stomach, peristalsis of the, esophagus. These you cannot control. These are autonomous. The nerves connected to them are the autonomous neural system, or the neurons connected to them. And somatic is the one which you can control. Are you getting my point? Somatic is what? The one which you can control, means which you can control. The skeletal muscles. You can control only muscular activity. Anything else you can control. One is muscular activity you can control. Another is the presence of, semi-smooth, not smooth muscles also, but little bit of control due to micturition is present. You can control the muscles of the bladder. Of the urinary system, that you can control. And another is sphincter muscle of the anus. That also to some extent you can control. Cheyenne can't. Okay. So these are certain places which you can control only. Right. So mainly the controllable muscles are skeletal muscles. So the neurons which are connected to the skeletal muscles are somatic neural system. And the neurons which are connected to the stomach and these places, means where involuntary actions are going on, those are known as autonomous. Again, autonomous can be divided as sympathetic and parasympathetic. You know what is the meaning of sympathetic and parasympathetic? I'll give you one example to make you understand sympathetic and parasympathetic. Suppose, for example, कुत्ता तुम्हारे पीछे भागा, ठीक है? The type of palpitation you will have is sympathetic, and then you go and suppose your brain works, okay, and functions and lets you think that let me climb up a tree. Okay, this control to the sympathetic to give you a result, okay, and make you climb the tree, because imagine that you do very fast, almost involuntarily. Almost involuntarily. Are you getting my point? Adrenaline rush, almost involuntary, means I can say semi-involuntary you do. Clear? So those are sympathetic is what which you directly do, ekdam voluntarily, and parasympathetic is what you do almost involuntarily, but still you have certain control to it. Yes? I told you, yeah, obviously the chemical function is also there, but this is one of the differences. Is this understood? Okay. Now, so I hope that this thing you have understood. And another thing was there. So in this way you divide. You can divide as myelinated, non-myelinated. One classification. Second classification, sensory and motor neurons. And third classification is myelinated, non-myelinated. We have discussed. Myelinated is present in the somatic ones, and non-myelinated is present both in somatic and autonomous ones. Okay, and sensory, myelinated, non-myelinated. What else I have said? Oh, now I was saying about this only, no? Another division can be unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar. I'll write here. Unipolar, bipolar. Whose book is this? Problem hocche na to kono? Multipolar. This is one more classification. Okay. I'll ask you to write, Suraksha. This is the task I'll give you. Don't worry. Writing will always be there in biology classes and my classes. Don't you worry about it. So, unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar. These three is there. Unipolar is, suppose the cell body is there, from one side only dendrite is also coming out and axon is also coming out. 1-1. Are you getting my point? Bipolar means from the cell body in the ulta side dendrite, axon is coming out and the ulta side dendrite is coming out, but not two, only one.
The normal.
Not normally, bekatarao hote pare. One dendrite, one axon in the opposite direction. That is bipolar. One dendrite, one axon in the same direction or unipolar. And if it is like this, then it is known as multipolar. Lots of dendrites from one end. So in this way also you can divide the neurons. So division of neurons is done in how many ways? 3 ways. Number 1, sensory and motor. Number 2, myelinated, non-myelinated. When understanding about myelinated, non-myelinated, we also understood about autonomous and somatic. And in autonomous, there is division parasympathetic and sympathetic. You just know that where is the myelinated neurons present and non-myelinated neurons present. And third is unipolar, bipolar, and multipolar. And the structure of the neuron is clear. And the association of the neuron to form a nerve is clear. Clear? So whatever I taught, you can make a paragraph, write down and show me. Fine. So I will see that here 6 people are doing classes. I'll ask them to play the video or to play, pause and play with the video a little bit. Increase the speed and listen and write down. Or whatever you have listened, like my style, you know. Whatever you have listened, please write down and present. You have 15 minutes to do that. And after 15 minutes, I'll begin with a new topic and share a new live stream in the WhatsApp group. These students who are present here, they will also write. You also at your home, please write down. Whatever I have taught, entirely you have to write down. I am giving you the topics, what you have to write. Number 1, you have to write about the structure of the neuron. See here, you have to write about first the structure of the neuron. Okay, and then you have to secondly write down there are how can you types of neurons and how can you classify the neurons. This thing you have to write. Third thing you have to write that in the classification what are the points I have taught you. Where in the myelinated, non-myelinated one, what are the points, autonomous and somatic, and what are the parts of autonomous, system, that these things, where are these neurons basically present, okay? And also you will write down about the formation of the nerves and also which part of the neuron does what function. Okay, and what is the function of acetylcholine? So these are the things that you have to write down and show me now with the help of a beautiful diagram. Thank you. And just wait for 15 minutes and complete the writing. I'll share a new, stream. Okay.